Hey everyone, this is Erica.
I'm Brian.
And we are the bakers of thebakers.tv, and we work online with men and women who want to create easy communication and deep connection. And we are here with Nicole and the husband, Josh. That's so weird to say.
Josh. No one knows me.
I don't know who that is. The husband. And we are super excited to have you guys with us today.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah,
it's fun. We don't get to do a lot of interviews together, so whenever we get a chance, it's like a little bit of a change of pace. I think.
I honestly don't think we've done any together.
Oh no, I've done some about you.
Okay.
So you're right. I haven't done any together. So this is the first. Hello.
Hi everybody.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited to share with you guys, or share with our audience, your guys' story and where you guys came from and how being an entrepreneur or entrepreneurs together really work, because it's not easy. And I feel like a lot of people feel alone in that and how to balance everything. And we're kind of joking ourselves if we say balance, but we attempt to, right?
Right.
So why don't you both explain what you do first, and then we'll kind of dig into further.
You want to go first?
I don't know. I was looking at you. I was giving you the you go first face.
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Joshua Walters. I am a lawyer. You can actually find my website at wheelhouselegal.com.
Very nice.
And that's spelled exactly the way it sounds.
You guys say they're spelled. Do people tell you they struggle with spelling wheelhouse? I just learned it is spelled exactly how it sounds. Like, I always wonder. It's part of his new pitch, So I'm always interested in. Okay, go ahead.
You guys are cute.
So let me see. I am primarily, I would say, in terms of my life, I would say I'm primarily a husband and a father. After that, I am a lawyer. I have a day job that I work, which involves me talking to a lot of people about a lot of issues, all legal. And I have my own side practice, which focuses on small business owners and startups. And I am my wife's general counsel.
You have a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hats.
Can you estimate how much you have on your plate? When you say all that, it's a lot more than I think of sometimes. Thank you. Thank you for doing so much. It just occurred to me.
Aw, look at that.
No, I just when you say, I was like, oh my gosh, he is running a business, and you are the primary parent, because I'm around a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be. Are you tired?
Yeah, that's why I always have these bags under my eyes.
Oh, wow, no.
Pedicure.
I know. So, were we finished?
Yeah, actually, I was born with these bags under my eyes, to be honest.
Oh my gosh, Josh. Really? Oh my gosh. Okay, so my name is Nicole Walters of NicoleWalters.tv, spelled exactly how it sounds. And it doesn't sound. I should spell it because people misspell Nicole all the time.
They do all the time.
They add an H to it.
Yeah.
Nicole. It's not like that. So NicoleWalters.tv, I'm an income strategist and entrepreneur. I have a business, and in my business, I teach people how to apply corporate strategies to their everyday entrepreneurial enterprises. And it's a blast. I have a lot of fun doing it. It's primarily web-based. I also have the opportunity to book a lot of speaking engagements with the likes of Seth Godin and Shalene Johnson and Dave Ramsey. So that's fun too. And that is my day job, if you will. Entrepreneurship is all the time, but that's my day job. And then I spend the rest of my time being a mom and a wife. And what else do I do? Mom and a wife. What else?
Oh, gosh.
Nicole, your list isn't as long as your husband's.
It isn't. I'm stretching right now. Can you guys tell? I cannot be in front of him with the list this short. I'm and being a model and You're doing 30? And I'm like,
big mama.
Let me say that she is the primary cook in our house.
thank you.
And that is a good thing because I'm terrible at it. And, I mean, just like when she's here, everything runs more smoothly.
Oh, thank you. It's fun smoothly when I'm not here. You do a good job. So anyway, so that's us. That's what we do. that was the longest, most hot mess introduction ever. Do you see? This is what our life is like. We are not together. We do not have this together.
That's okay.
So that's us.
So, when you guys first met, how did you meet? Tell us.
We met using.
Tell the truth.
We met online. We met online, and Nicole's going to, say before it was like skeezy or whatever. She doesn't actually know what she's talking about.
I feel like it's necessary to throw that out. I feel like the internet is sketchy.
We met on OkCupid.
That's how we. But it was like we exchanged numbers, which is unusual for me. I just want to say that
right away. Actually,
I didn't just hand out numbers to people. It was a God thing. Handed my number to him. He was like, "Oh, let's meet later." We went for a date, and then on the date, neither one of us liked each other that much.
I would say that we enjoyed each other's company.
We enjoyed each other, but we weren't like interested. I don't think it was like that.
Yeah, it was more like, oh, this is someone to hang out with.
Yeah, like, oh, I met a good friend. Like, it was one of those dates where we were like, oh, I don't really know if there's chemistry. And then the second date, we were like, oh, we still like each other. Like, this is fun, and we'll just keep doing this if it's fun.
And we did.
And then we did. And then we ended up married because we're still doing it's so fun.
Right.
So here we are still. And it's a blast. So that's how we met. It's obviously like far more detailed than that. You can find it on YouTube, the full story. He tells it first, and then I have to retell it because he doesn't tell it right. So
that's the way we are too.
It's not the true version.
That's funny. That's exactly how we are too. I think you guys are echoing a little bit. So if you move away from your mic, it might make it so it's less echoey.
Let's see. And
you
guys know that I'm not good with technology, so this is like a big deal.
Oh, there you go. I think that sounds better.
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. Awesome. So that's how you guys met. And then were you entrepreneurs when you first met, or did you guys both work 9 to 5s?
I did the corporate 9 to 5 thing, and he was a new lawyer.
I was not that new.
You were fresh. Are you kidding? We met on your first day of your first lawyer job.
No, actually, that wasn't my first day of my first lawyer job. It was my first day of my first lawyer job in Baltimore.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are you? That was your first day of your first lawyer job.
No, I was working
for Marvin before that.
For Marvin.
Oh, that doesn't count. Marvin's his neighbor.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. That's not. This was his first day working for someone he didn't know.
That's true.
Okay.
This is your first lawyer job.
I showed up.
Because would Marvin ever fire you?
No.
See, that's not a real job. so I mean, you just started.
Right. I showed up. It was the middle of July. I showed up. I had gone to court that day. The first day on the job, I wanted to have me go to court, and it was sweltering hot.
It was like 97 degrees in July. It was legit July.
I did not know my way around Baltimore, and so I wound up parking probably
a good mile.
I would say at least 3 or 4 blocks away from.
It was a solid mile
from where I was. It was over a bridge. I will say that.
A long bridge.
I walked over a bridge
to get to me.
Yes.
And then he shows up on the date sweating bullets. And all I could think to myself was, why did this guy take off his jacket? Like, at least, right? Like, why'd you wear the wool jacket? You could have taken off the jacket, rolled up your sleeves, and put on a tie because his neck needed ventilation. Right? Cooler. But not his whole body. He was okay with that part. And sweating bullets. In his dress clothes. I was like, it's close to your office, but not that close. The question was, were we entrepreneurs at the time? No.
No.
Well, you were answering that.
You did not do this.
Yeah, this might be the longest interview ever. I love hearing you guys. So, what was your biggest motivation to have Nicole leave her comfortable job with all the risks and challenges that come with that decision. How did you guys navigate making that decision together?
Did we make it together? I mean, we talked about it a lot.
We talked about it a lot.
A lot.
I became aware over time of how just dynamic and special Nicole was as a speaker. And
he's trying to get some, y'all. Don't listen to him. Like, he's using this interview as a set up. Okay, I see what you're doing.
We talked about that before. We planned it all out.
I've never heard this.
Well, that's good.
Speaker, I had seen her. She was doing vlogging before,
Right.
and you know, we went to like a number of different events, and she was really good on stage.
Thank you.
She was, you know, like really funny and always, you know, like people just enjoyed seeing her speak. And so that was something that I was really aware of. And I knew that, you know, if she found some sort of niche where she had something that, you know, it wouldn't be a question of her being able to, you know, sell it and you know, really like, you know, impart some wisdom to people or whatever, you know, I mean, like whether that was just good hair advice or, you know, as it turned out, business advice.
Right.
And so that was something that I was really aware of.
More than I was, because
Yeah.
I was never confident in my ability to go for it for the longest time, for like years. I mean, like we probably talked about it for 3 years, maybe 2 solid years of like, I should quit. What would it look like if I did?
Yeah.
You know, going back and forth, because one, we made good money and we didn't need to quit. 2, at that time we didn't have kids. So it was a different story.
Right.
And then 3, I just wasn't sure because I had no idea. The first time you're an entrepreneur, you never know what it's going to look like. You know, so I was just like, do we want to give up this comfortable life when we know that the number one things that couple argue about is money?
Yeah.
You know, and we knew what it was like to live without money.
Right.
So, and it wasn't good for our marriage or for us.
No, it wasn't.
So it's like, we're like, do we want to, branching into entrepreneurship, is that a potential situation where we are risking not just our comfort and our finances and all that, but our marriage?
Right.
Because if that goes badly, one of my biggest concerns was that.
Yeah, but I remember around the time that you wanted deciding to quit, you know, I was still thinking that it would be a good idea to like stay in your job for another like couple of months.
Yeah, like we were thinking November, but things changed when he got sick.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it was, yeah, I mean, there were multiple things that wound up changing, but like the things kind of aligned, and then it made a lot of sense for you to just go ahead and make the move. And you said that you were going to do it, and I was like, all right, you know.
Your mind was made up, I would easily say, before mine was. Like, he was way more confident that I could do this. Because I think from the outside in, you know how, like, you have personal confidence issues? Yeah. Like, I was like, I don't know if I can do this entrepreneur thing. I just really don't. And I'm scared, and, you know, because that's in your head. But from the outside, he's like, why wouldn't you be able to do it? Literally, you've seen me go from job to job and hustle and grind and, like,
right.
You know, so it's like, obviously it can be done, but.
Yeah, I think I came to just decide after a while or realize that, you know, it would not make sense to hold back from you doing whatever you were going to do, because I knew that you'd be special at it. And it was just, you know, like any time that was spent continuing on, you know, with a boss, basically, it just was holding you back. So.
That's so sweet. I know. But yeah, he's right. I gotta get out of here. You were probably sick of me complaining too. I did a lot of that. I was stressed.
You were very stressed.
So
there's like an element of workplace politics that you just don't have to deal with when you're in charge of your own destiny.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, in case you didn't know, secret side-eye fact, okay, this guy, motivational speaker, okay? Everyone thinks it's all me. No, this guy's like, no, listen, he'll have his moments. You got to chase your destiny. You got to believe. But it like sounds like super truth because he's so serious and quiet all the time. So I couldn't do it without him. So yeah, it was a lot of you coaching me to get to that point.
We've had our long nights.
This is my coach right here. Like, he keeps me going. So, yep. So that's what that looked like. I forgot the question. We're doing a horrible. I have so many interviews. You're doing a horrible job.
About just navigating that circumstance and how you guys ended up getting to the okay, let's do this.
So Josh got sick. That was a big part of it. When we were, and it was fun. It was not funny, but around the time you got sick, we traveled. We went on a vacation together, and when we were going on the vacation, our thing was, okay, when we get back, the vacation was in like June, and we were like, when we get back, but I want to have a date that I'm going to quit.
Yeah,
that was the thing. When I get back, we're going to quit as of this date. And we were talking about, we're like, this vacation, while we have money in the bank, while we're living that good life, this is going to be our time, but when we come back, it's, making plans, exit strategy. And then when you were there, you got sick.
yeah.
And my big concern was like sick, like in the hospital for a month, sick almost, and then outpatient for a while.
Yeah.
And like physical therapy stuff. So
It's crazy.
for us, it was like, at least I know that for me, all I could think was, I don't want him coming out and worrying about medical bills. I want him to come out and, worry about being better, and I don't want to worry about, so I don't talk about it much. And I don't want to worry about, being at the office because my job involved a lot of travel, I want to worry about being here, and I need that flexibility. So entrepreneurship, before, all I really thought about was, will we be able to afford our life and not have stress? Like that was the big part of it, was, can we maintain like paying for bills, and I don't want us to lose our house and the kids. Then it became the other time factor, and the mind of freedom and the physical choice part of it suddenly had a whole new weight to it that outweighed the money part. So it was kind of like, if I can make some money, that's good enough. But if I can be home with my husband and care for him, that's all I care about.
Yeah. And you wound up taking FMLA, which is Family Medical Leave Act.
He can't help a lawyer. He can't help a lawyer.
Which,
Yeah, which helped. Like, basically, I took off a bunch of time from work, right, while he was ill, and I literally would spend all my time at the hospital. And if I wasn't at the hospital, because they wouldn't let me sleep there, obviously, when I wasn't at the hospital, I was building my business at home because I couldn't sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't shower, I couldn't eat. So I literally would spend the time just building my business. Like, I was like, okay, I'll do a landing page. Like, for me, because I did this in corporate, it was mindless work. So it was just kind of like, let me just kind of get through it. Let me test these systems. Let me, see if this works, because if I can make it work, and then I'll at least pay these bills. And then when he's out, I'll go back to work.
Right.
So entrepreneurship was a gradual thing, and then it was a fast thing.
That's very much like, it was, like you had to dive off into the deep end,
It was pushed into the deep end.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's cool to see your relationship too, and just the way that you guys support each other and believe in each other. And because you have that, like, you can get through anything. When you have a partner that believes in you and encourages you and stands beside you and like, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself, you can do anything.
Well, you have to take turns like that. If you don't, like, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to not. I mean, you both can't be like putting each other down, and you both can't be saying like, I don't think you do it. You're not capable. You're not enough. And make no mistake, the first year of our marriage was exactly that. We hadn't decided to be married. Like we decided that. And I don't know, hey, this is a marriage thing. This is the type of thing you talk about now. Because we never have a time to talk about this way. It's, did something just drop in the kitchen?
I think something.
Hold on. Did something drop? Chrissy? Is everything okay? Okay, sorry. Kids are post-dinner kitchen. I'm like, what just broke? But when we first got married, our first year was just the worst.
Yeah, honestly, I would say that we didn't really make the full adjustment to being married, to being like in that type of relationship where it's like,
which is different. People try to be like, oh, when you're married, it's the same, as being dating. You're just living together.
It was probably.
It was probably a good 3 years before we liked each other, like a lot.
Like we started off really liking each other and enjoying each other, and then just like got in terms of like outside forces,
outside opinions. Like we always describe it as like when you come into marriage, you each have your own definition of what marriage is.
Yep.
And if you don't break down that, and you hold your partner to this definition, which isn't fair because likely you guys, grew up in different places and thought different things. And, so to come in with your own separate definitions and expectations, you're gonna let each other down. So
right.
that you guys, one, drop all of those. It's not trying to find some happy medium of the two. It's drop all of those and let it be defined from within the marriage itself and from your own opinions and your own experiences. And what we did was we each had our own definitions, and then we came into the marriage kind of with like we let other people's opinions, like parents and stuff, which is really, our parents couldn't be more polar opposites. So like I have these African parents, these Jewish parents, like, I mean, it was just crazy, like kind of come in and have their opinions of what things were. And then, you know, and then we're kind of, you really just have to kind of leave your old family behind, let yourself form a new family, and then kind of, you know, get back into that space. You have to have that dedicated, committed time to, you know, it's us against the world, kind of. You know what I mean? Like we're each other's thing.
You don't even have to be against the world.
Not against the world, but
just
us, you know?
but it's us.
It's us. Like we are.
And that's kind of where you have to adjust. You have to go from living, you know, with somebody to, you know, living for somebody.
Mm-hmm. And that was really hard for us. Like it was really tough because I had, and then also the benefit of the doubt was a big part too.
Yeah.
Like you really have to assume that person is on your side, on your team, and anything that they're doing is truly, if it's something that makes you mad, it's truly 100% not to like actually make you mad. Like, at least for me, it's just something that happened that I probably misunderstood. So like if he leaves the dishes in the sink, I had my own hangups, you know, so it's like that wasn't because he didn't care about our family and doesn't care about my time and doesn't care about anything. He just hates his whole household. That's why he likes to do dishes. You know, that's not what it is, even if that's what my brain tells me. It's because he forgot to do the dishes.
That's like literally.
Yeah.
You know, like I grew up in a family
That's so true.
where there was like a lot of affection, you know, and so that was like what I identified as being that, you know, and Nicole grew up in a family where that's not
there wasn't affection. Like love was, I cared for stuff, meaning bills were paid. Like you have clothes, don't you? So what do you want hugs too? Like that was like my household, you know, like his household was, who cares if we have clothes as long as we hug each other, you know? So it couldn't be more polar opposite because like he'd be saying like, but why won't you just sit down and cuddle with me? And I'm like, I'm trying to pay bills. Like, you know? So, and I'm like, don't you see me paying all these bills around here? The house is clean. There's food on the table. And no, what, you just want me to hug you now? Like it just, we couldn't be speaking and on top of all that, taking offense to the fact that your partner is asking for those things. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a recipe for divorce. And we were almost there.
Yeah.
We were almost there. Like I'd written, I don't even know if a lot of people know this. I'd actually put like not a deposit yet, but I'd picked a place to move in our, what was that, our second year maybe?
It's second or third.
Second or third. Like the first step to the separation process, I was ready to move out. And
then we went
to therapy,
going to couples therapy. Mm-hmm. And honestly, we didn't even go to that many sessions. But she recommended this book called Fighting for Your Marriage.
Yep, Fighting for Your Marriage by, I want to say Howard Merkel, I think is his name. Howard Merkel changed everything.
Yeah, she read the entire thing. I read about a third.
Mm-hmm. It's necessary. Only one person has to like learn the skills, you know, but that really helped. We aren't even answering questions anymore. We're just talking.
Well, I think this is relevant to what they want.
I was going to say, this is good.
You're like, okay. We read this book and we applied the skills. And the core thing in the book is just basically, for me at least, the transformative thing was recognizing that I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. If that person is there and you know that they love you, then whatever happens isn't done with the intent to hurt or harm or cause ill. So you really have to say to yourself, what is this really about?
Right.
What is this really about? Like, and if it's like, and you know, Occam's razor is probably the least complicated thing is the answer. So if this person really intends to, you know, is here, if I know that Josh loves me, it's still worth fighting for, basically. If I don't think he loves me, then I shouldn't be here, period. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the truth, you know? So no matter what we go through, if we know that love is still here, then we'll just deal with it. We'll figure it out. So that's like kind of what, you know, and 8 years later, you know, we're still here.
Yeah. And, you know, just kind of since then, we've been building on that foundation.
We have. And it's amazing because the type of things that have come our way since, like entrepreneurship felt like nothing compared to the bigger stuff in the marriage. We were kind of like, oh, we don't know how to work out, but let's try it. You know what I mean? Like, because what can't we get through? You know, taking in 3 kids. you're like, oh, this might get a little complicated, but all right, we'll try it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, if you already have that foundation that you'll get through it, the deal is we get through it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the deal. As long as we know that do you still love me? Okay. Do I still love you? Yes, I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
I mean, I like you right now, but I still love you.
And,
okay, we'll figure it out.
And we listen to each other as
We
partners. And like we also have our own roles.
That's a good part.
Here's enough of our questions.
You guys are just answering all of our
questions.
This is not a scope. This is an interview. They have to ask the question. But, okay, let's ask the next question. Let's get, we do live broadcasts together, clearly. Go ahead. Question.
I don't even know where to go from there. Yeah.
Hot mess. We
This is your fault for being too good.
We threw her off. We're terrible. This is terrible. There's a format.
Let's just talk about the roles thing.
Yeah. So that was one of our last.
Not our interview.
How do you figure out your roles? Like,
she gave us the question. I love it.
Because some of your roles might not be like normal ones, right? Like this is what the wife does, this is what the husband does, and like, how are you guys working through that? Because I know it's a struggle for us because I do a lot of the business side, and Brian's completely fine with taking care of the kids and doing, like, he's an amazing husband, but like, it makes you feel guilty because you're like, I'm not fulfilling the quote unquote role that I'm supposed to be.
Sure.
And so how do you guys navigate that? And what are the roles you guys decided on?
Well, for one thing, I've never really worried about like traditional gender roles as being a thing. Like I've never like been too concerned about being like,
we couldn't be married if that was the case.
Yeah. Like the thing is, I'm confident in my own masculinity. Like,
yeah, I'm like, yeah.
What's that about, Nicole?
You know, I mean, so just because like I'm taking care of a kid, or you know, like
that's being the dad.
Yeah,
that's not like less of a dad or a man. Yeah,
or making oatmeal or whatever. You know, like this is just it's part of taking care of the responsibilities of the household. You know, I mean, it's kind of a thing where each one of us has our strengths and each one of us has our weaknesses, you know, and we just basically have learned to
we go between the two.
Yeah, we live within what makes the most sense for us to do. I handle paying bills. I handle you know, the routine stuff because I'm somebody that builds and maintains structure. And Nicole is very, very effective in, you know, improvising and handling, you know, long-term strategies and stuff like that.
So, yeah, so like, I think that a lot of what we do is just based on our personality types. It's not really based on, you know, roles or structure society says. It's really just, what do you do best? You know, it's kind of like, let's say this is a doomsday apocalypse situation. If you have a doctor in your group, are you going to make the doctor the well digger? No, you're going to let him be the doctor because that's what they do best. You know what I mean? Not because, oh, well, you look like a well digger, so I don't know. You know what I mean? You give the roles to the person who knows how to do them best. And that's what we care about in our household, is just things being done the best way possible, so that our kids are thriving, our bank accounts are thriving, our lives are thriving, you know, our well-being, our sense of self. So with that, you know, Josh does do a lot of the, I don't even want to call it household stuff. Like so the way we talk about it is like, I'm the CEO and Josh is the COO. He's head of operations. He keeps this whole ship rolling. Like I might shovel the money in the bank account, but it would never get anywhere if he wasn't here to like divvy it out. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's my job, is to go out there and get it done. And his job is to make sure that we have something to show for it all. Right. You know, so both jobs are incredibly and equally important.
And also, you know, like we discussed the big picture stuff. We discussed like the big moves, and Nicole kind of says, this is where I want to go.
Like, this is the strategy, this is what I'm thinking, and Josh picks it apart, plugs in the holes and the gaps, and then vetoes.
Yeah, I have a veto.
Like, and that's a big thing in our marriage, is that like, if Josh puts his foot down and says no, it doesn't happen. And part of why that works for us is 9 times out of 10, he doesn't say no. You know, like it's partly because I think I come with rational things. I don't just bring up stuff, you know, but if he says like, absolutely not, I'm not okay with it. That doesn't feel right. Like we have actually, and I haven't talked about it publicly, but we do have I have a contract sort of concept that's in negotiation right now. And it's a biggie and for my business. And Josh has some hangups about it. I actually feel okay about some of these things, but he's just like, I really don't love that. And if that's in it, that's a no for me. And what's tough for me about that is this is something I really, really want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, and we've talked about it, I'm like, it would be huge for our business. It would be transformative, or it's like, it would be huge for our family. It's like, it is the type of thing that people wish and dream for. If he says no, we're not doing it. Because I don't want that without him. And I know I also can't do it without him. Like, it would be, even if I had that world, but then I came home and he wasn't happy, or he didn't like it, or he felt like even 10 years from now, he's like, I knew we shouldn't have, like it's going to be a no. So like in terms of roles and stuff, I even hate to call it roles just because they're both pieces of a puzzle. Like the functioning can't happen if we don't do those pieces together. So,
right. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And when he's saying things like that, it's because it's in your best interest and that he's looking out for you.
Like it's truly because I can only see things from my perspective, and he can see like all the stuff around it that I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like it's just, he looks at stuff just so differently from me, but that's like exactly what I need. And in my moments where I'm having my business long-term trajectory freakouts, like he's the guy who's like, let's bring it back down a notch. What matters in this moment? What matters here? Mm-hmm. And the fact that
what's the worst case scenario?
Or what's the worst case scenario? I can't tell you how often, people don't even know this, but on the road before speaking engagements, I'm talking to this guy. If I'm freaking out, like 2 hours with this guy, on the phone, he's the one. People don't know I freak out. I have anxiety. I used to have really bad anxiety, but I like nerves, whatever. If imposter syndrome, wondering if I can do it, this is the guy who makes sure I can. Like when I worry about, am I giving enough in my community? Do I need to do more? He's like, this is reasonable, this is not. Like when I want to undercharge myself, this is the guy who makes sure I bump up my prices. I have all the same issues everyone else has. I just have somebody who kind of who puts it into, he just holds up a mirror and reminds me of who I am, so that in our home, in our household, like when I feel guilty about, because I do feel guilty about like not being here enough as a mom all the time. But he's like sending me videos. But I'm here a lot, but I just don't, it doesn't ever feel like enough, because
really what it boils down to, like she's making it sound like I'm the only one that's helping, but like really we're constantly pushing each other to be better
versions of ourselves.
Yeah, we want each, like,
which sucks, by the way.
I want her. Yeah, it is such a pain.
It is such a pain in the butt. Like real life, like it is. It's not like it's not fighting about it per se, but it's annoying because that this person always sees the best version of you and is always going to point you towards that best version, even when it hurts. And we don't like it, but we love it. And we know it's what we need. And that is like the hardest thing ever,
I would say, like before Nicole, I dated many girls who...
Many? Is that the best word?
Several girls.
Several? I feel like few.
There was this one girl.
I feel like few.
Okay, anyways. No, but in all seriousness, I dated girls that a lot of the time didn't challenge me.
Right.
And sort of held me in greater esteem than I held myself.
Oh, guys, this guy. Go ahead. I mean, like they put me on a pedestal. Like, what can I say? These girls are obsessed with me.
And I always found myself just like, I got bored within a week of that happening.
And I cast them aside. These many women that were coming to my door, right?
Okay.
You're like, oh my gosh.
Let me just say that, like, I didn't do anything wrong by them.
No,
either.
Of course not.
But,
you lost interest. You like someone who's a challenge.
I like someone. I like it, and I felt the need, the drive, and the draw to be with somebody who, didn't like hold me up to be like more than I actually was, who actually, wanted me to be better than what I was. And that
sounds terrible. Who was like, you're just average.
No, it's not.
Don't ever, you're just average.
Let me say
not
also.
what I do.
Let me say also that before Nicole, the girl right before Nicole actually was
my
somebody
gosh.
who
I am blushing right now. You can't tell.
Who saw me as less than I was, and I didn't
her.
like her at
I
all.
didn't like her. I don't even know.
Like I wound up breaking up with her, like once I kind of discovered that she just wasn't nice. But so I mean, it's really a balance. I mean, you need to have somebody who is really like
sees you as you are, but also sees you for what you can be.
Yes,
I think.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. Teamwork. So on that note, with your guys' schedule being crazy, how are you intentional about that, as both having a lot on your plate, both having your own businesses and, 3 kids, which that is a new thing for you guys too. And then focusing on each other and making sure that your relationship, like, it sounds like you guys have really built it up and really worked on that communication. But if you're not actively engaging in like alone time, and just being with each other and talking about where life's going, your relationship turns around and you're like, wait, who are you again?
Right. Well, so we spend a lot of time together. I think that's the first part. Like, I remember, I feel like I spend way more time with him now as an entrepreneur than I did before. Yeah. And that was something I was looking forward to in entrepreneurship, because I felt like I didn't get to see him as much because I traveled all the time in my business.
I work from home.
He works from home. So like during the workday, he's in the basement. And I'm like on the floor right above him. So he'll come up at lunch.
Yeah, or sometimes
middle of the day
when I should be working.
I know. He's like, I'm taking a walk. Well, people take smoke breaks at the office. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't smoke, but like basically he takes a break, and he'll come up and he'll be like, just checking to see what you're doing. And I'm like, in the middle of emails, or like people have seen him pop into like my scopes, you know what I mean? Like in the middle of the day. And it's because he's home. So I get to see him all the time, and then he doesn't even have a commute. So when he gets off work, he's here. Yeah. In the morning, we shift with the baby taken care of. So I
wake her up.
Yeah.
And I feed her, and
you talk about the baby, not me.
And we do.
I wake her up and I feed her. Right in the morning. So he has like daddy-daughter time, but then he tags me in.
Yeah, and then she'll take her to school.
Yeah, preschool.
And. So
then they're gone all day. Like there's no one here until 2, so it's just us. You know what I mean? So we get to hang out, we see each other. Yeah, we have work and stuff, but we see each other, all day. And then the kids come in. We always eat dinner as a family. Like as long as we're both, like whoever's here, we always eat at the table.
Right.
So we eat dinner, and then we always like laugh and maybe have a little, an hour or two of family time. So we spend time there. And then so that's what the week looks like. And then the weekends come, and our kids have visitation with their bio parents. So that's usually date night. And we'll do something. So like we'll go get like dinner somewhere, we'll try a new restaurant, or we'll come home and watch shows. Oh, and we take time every single day after the kids go to bed. Yeah. So usually from like 8 to 10, 8 to 10:30, if not a little later, it's just us time. Like I shut down. I may have my phone kind of, sometimes you want to be in the presence of each other, but you don't have to be doing stuff together. So we have that, but usually like we're focused, like we're just watching a show together, then talking about it, stuff like that, which you don't like the talking about it part. That's how I watch TV.
It's like, Nicole.
That's how I watch. No, he pauses. He'll just pause it and be like this. And I'm like, and then finally he'll be like, can we watch a show? And I'm like, no, but what'd you think of her coat? I feel like her coat is too cute. I don't believe her.
That's not what we talk about.
I don't believe her. It depends on what we're talking. It depends what we're watching. So there's that. And then, so we get time every single day. Wow, we spend a lot of time together when I really think about it. And a rule that I made for myself after my first year of entrepreneurship was that I will always go to bed with him, like every single night. Like I'm not going to stay up late and work like until 3 a.m. I used to do that in the beginning. And not only was it unhealthy for me, because I mean, there were days where he would get up again and I'd still be working. Mm-hmm. And he'd say, did you go to sleep? Stuff like that. That happened in corporate a lot too. And it's also, he doesn't sleep as well when I'm not there.
Now I just have to deal with the sound of her nails against the
phone. Against the phone, yeah. Because I will go to bed with you. I didn't say I was going to stop working. So tappa, 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 right? Yeah. Tappa, tappa, tappa. But then I go to sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we had a problem where I would stay up until super, super late working, and then it really had like a weird effect on our relationship. So that's why we created that phone box that we got you guys.
I know.
time you'll use.
Yes.
But where you can put your phone in there and then kind of say goodnight to it and be more present.
You can call it a day. No, and it does work. I mean, it helps that we get to see each other so much. You know what I mean? Like, it really does. I think that it's amazing because I thought entrepreneurship was going to be really dope for all. Like, we have so much financial freedom to do whatever. The best part's the time freedom. Like and the lack of the different stress, you know, like I have stress, but it's like joyful stress. You know what I mean? Like, I'm worried about my people, I'm worried about my community, but it's not the same type of stress like with corporate where it's like, am I going to get fired today? Did I do this well enough? You know, like, are they changing the division? It's like different. So, I mean, most of the time we're happy. And oftentimes we spend a lot of time looking at each other saying, can you believe we made it? Can you believe how far we are? Can you believe, like, it's so cool to be in a relationship with someone who gets that. Yeah. And I couldn't imagine not being in a relationship with someone who can appreciate this moment as much as I do.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot's happened.
A lot's happened.
Josh, question for you, Hubin, whatever you want to call him. So when you were first starting out with Nicole being an entrepreneur, Nicole's like, what do you mean?
I know, I'm like, what is this?
Was it really hard? Because I could see Nicole being somebody who, like, just 100% in, go, 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 go. And, like, how was that feeling of, like, that she was with something else and, like, having to balance that with, you know, her focusing on you? I don't know if you guys had that or not, or at least at the beginning where you're having trouble with, like, boundaries of how much she's working on things and like, you know, how that makes you feel.
Honestly, like, for the most part, I supported what she was doing. I mean, it was something that in the very beginning, I think in the very beginning, I was not really, you know,
loving it.
But as she was realizing results from it, I was like, all right, then go.
Yeah. Well, you also saw it as a season.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the things that we always knew is it wasn't always going to be like that, you know? So it's like, and it doesn't have to be. I will say that in the beginning, there is sort of a sprint to build the foundations, sprint to build the cushion, time that you have to put in, you know, that's required in order to earn the time that is a luxury. It doesn't mean you have to neglect your relationship. It's just that there will be the occasional long night, you know, there will be the occasion. And what isn't helpful for us or for me at least, is that he doesn't guilt me during those long nights. Like, I don't need him. It doesn't help if after, because I'm tired too, you know, and I'm doing this for us, you know? So it's like, understand that I'll do my best to only limit it to like one long night this week. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to overdo it. So once we did that, and then
I had to make that adjustment.
Right. Because in the beginning it was kind of like, why aren't you, you know, like hanging out as much? You're working so much, you know? But once I think you got it and you started seeing the difference, and then once he started showing more flexibility in that area, I also made it a real point to say, or not once, but at the same time, to really say like, okay, I really got to cut back. I really have to make more time. I really need to. And it's so different now, I think. Like, I cook dinner with the family. Like,
you are very deliberate in terms of making time for the family and for me in particular. That's something that
it's on my calendar. For my business calendar, family time starts from 3 until like 4:30, 5:30, so that I can at least make dinner and then eat dinner. And then, but basically starting at like 4, I'm like family focused until bedtime. And we may pop back on 7, 8 o'clock, depending on other stuff we have going on. But that's because the baby goes to bed at 7:30. You know what I mean? So as far as she knows, from the moment she gets home until her bedtime, both parents are here and present. You know what I mean? Like 100%. Phones down, things off. So it's only the rare call or anything that intervenes in that. But that's new, because in the beginning it wasn't like that. It was, oh, we get to see you. There were a couple of those moments, and those were hard for me.
We've had those. And I think a lot of other entrepreneurs, you know, or startups, especially with the women out there, that when they're starting up, it's hard to balance that, because you feel like I'm doing it for you guys, but I want to be with you at the same time. So it's always that struggle.
Yeah, I had like that just this past weekend when I was it this weekend or last weekend? Last weekend. I was, or last week, I was speaking with Dave Ramsey and their crew in San Antonio.
Yeah, I saw you.
I know, so you're right. You guys be there. And then when I was there, we found out unexpectedly that our eldest daughter won an award. It's close to bedtime. I know, this is wind down hour. So we found out our daughter won an award, like, because she's a senior, now, our eldest daughter.
Out of town.
And I was this has never happened, but these things are going to start happening. And typically if there's something I have to come back on the 17th from Orlando for another speaking engagement in time for another award ceremony for her graduation. So I'm like, my plane has to get in on time. My kids graduate. Like, there's so many things. But this past week when I found that out, can I tell you how quick I wanted to hop on a plane? Like, I was like, I have to see her get this award. Like, she,
I took video.
And so he's taking video, sending me notes real time, trying to keep me there as much as possible. And of course, he changed his whole schedule to make sure he was there, brought his sisters and all of that. But
her sisters.
Oh, about her sisters, not your sisters. But, it was one of those moments where work got in the way. And of course, it wasn't like I chose to be out of town. We didn't even know about it. And if I'd known about it, it wouldn't have happened. But it was tough. It was tough. You getting ready? You getting ready? I'm sorry. How many has a time? But yeah, it's just tough. It's just tough.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. 2 more questions for you guys.
Okay.
How has faith, because I know faith is a big thing for you. Mm-hmm. How has faith impacted your relationship together, and how do you do you have like a rhythm that you interact and pray or whatever, things that you do together or separately, and how has that impacted your relationship?
Sure. So, I think that Josh has been able to watch me on this journey for some time, which is different because Josh grew up Jewish, and that's what he practices, and that is in
Are we back?
Oh, there you are.
Oh, there you go.
I know. I was like, are they frozen? Okay. So Josh grew up Jewish, and that's very much his culture also. So what's cool is we get to share some of those aspects with our family. But what's amazing is not only does he recognize my faith, but he encourages it. Like, hey, it's Sunday, girl. So while you're, you going to church, and he'll come with me to services. So he's been to services with me. He's there to support me, and he's there to, if I need prayer, he's there with me. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that he understands, and he's seen what God has done in my life, and he's seen how our business has moved and grown. And I think that that's been, you've seen me grow, it's just been, people always say, like, gosh, what's it like being in a relationship that's interfaith? Is that weird? But I think it's only weird if you have a partner that doesn't lift you up no matter what. You know what I mean? And so it's this clear understanding that, like, I have a relationship that's not going anywhere, and it's big, and he's just so good about it. You know what I mean? He's so good about it. I don't know. Do you have any take on it? Is it weird for you at all?
Not really. I mean, like...
Not really. It's just who you are. It's just who you are. Like, you're a God girl. It's what it is.
I have, like, my relationship with God.
We're getting kicked out. That's so funky, right?
Sorry, this is weird. Yeah. We've never had that happen.
I've never happened before. It's so weird.
Yeah, that's okay.
Not today, Satan. Cut it out. Yeah, no, but we have, it's interesting because I still have that support. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we celebrate Christmas with the kids. We have events, it's not weird. Like, he understands, like, how people say, as for me and my house, you know what I mean? Like, he just understands,
Yeah.
I have prayer calls with the community. He's all about that. He's like, anything you can do to pour into people, because I see what God's done. And that's the point. That's what I think being a strong and good Christian is that you are legit living your life, being the light, and he would never try to cover that up.
Right.
So, yeah. It's been a blessing. And then of course I still support him as well too. I recognize that he's, comes from a Jewish family and a Jewish background, and even if my husband were to convert, which is not something I would never make him choose that, because I don't feel like that's in my personal take, that's not how Jesus works. If you don't choose him, he already chose you, but if you don't choose him, then it doesn't work the same. You know what I mean? It can't be forced. So that's not something I would ever force on him until he chooses and decides independently that that's what he wants to do. But even if my husband were to convert, his culture is still Judaism. You know what I mean? Like, that's still part of his background. Like, his people are from Israel, so it's,
they're like special.
It's special. Yeah. It's something that no matter what would be part of our lifestyle. So, yeah. And it's cool because at least we share a testament. So,
right. I was gonna say it's not that far off.
He stays correcting my verses. He's like, actually, I studied Torah and you got that wrong. I'm like, you know what? You don't know all the things. So Jesus was Jewish, exactly. Right. I like your Moses beard.
Thank you. It's
been Moses' ear. That's true.
Cool. So last question, guys. What do you wish you would have known before maybe even getting married, or before, a couple years in, that you would have had like a resource for, or something of that nature, to other people maybe who had just got married or are getting married, that want to make sure that their relationships work, and maybe to cut the 3 years that you guys spent trying to figure that stuff out, being proactive in that way, not to wait till the last minute?
That's a tough question because, life's a journey, right? And
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it differently. I wouldn't do it over, but I wouldn't do it differently.
Right? I do that a lot about things.
Part of what helps you to really appreciate the good times and what it feels like to be able to have like good, solid communication and an equal partnership is to be able to look back and remember a relationship that, wasn't so healthy and where there wasn't that kind of understanding and communication and openness and tolerance and, so I don't know that I would change anything. I don't know, I guess
what would you recommend to people?
What I would recommend the book that,
Fighting for Your Marriage by Howard Merkel, I'm pretty sure is the name.
Right. I would recommend that before people get married, it would be good for them to, have a good understanding of themselves.
These two are relationship coaches.
Right.
So it would help to talk to married people.
Yeah.
Like married people in a real way, not just in a not
the spam stuff.
Yeah, not just in the oh my gosh, guys, newlyweds. I know that me, for one, I'm so sick of the perfect marriage fake me out. You know what I mean? Like people see us and they're like, you guys are so stinking cute. Wow, all the time. And we're like, oh no. Trust, we almost got divorced. You know what I mean? This is 8 years in fighting. You know what I mean? Because we made it happen. It didn't just occur. We were not this cute in the beginning, and we were almost not together. That's
our story.
It was God, and it was effort, and desire and will and strength and prayer. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I prayed and said, if this is meant to be, Lord, just give me what I need right now, because real life.
Love on its own is not enough. You need to back up that love with effort.
You need God. You need prayer. You need that will. It needs to come from something more.
Yeah. You need to really open yourself up and get outside of your defense mechanisms.
Yep.
And you need to try to see things from the perspective of the other person. Because that's really what it boils down to, is that your truth is not the only truth. You have a perspective, but you're looking at the world through a keyhole, and there's a whole landscape out there.
Listen.
Look at that.
Okay, preach, Hubin. Seriously. No, I don't think he could be righter. It's one of those things where, one, you have to recognize that you came into the marriage with your own stuff. Everybody comes with their own stuff. So it is possible, shocker, that you may have come into the marriage and look at things that happen in the marriage through your own lens, know? And so it's just crazy because I know that I came into it not even recognizing all my own stuff that I had. And the person I was coming into the marriage, I'm still me. I've always been me. I think I've got core personality traits that have never changed. However, without a doubt, he has like sifted me out and molded me into the best version of me, and that is the point of marriage.
So far.
So far. Amen. Oh, it's lovely. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
So it's like one of those things where that's the type of stuff he does for you. You guys don't understand.
Yes.
Stay high-fiving my husband. I'm like, yes, you better tell me who I am. Like, I have these moments all the time. Like,
That's awesome.
seriously, you know, like, and I think that that is the thing that people forget when they first come into their marriage is that, you know, and as a tool to remember is, you know, do the work, use your resources, ask other people who are honest and truthful about their marriage, you know, and say like, look, like, you guys seem so great. Is this normal? But also understand that it's not normal, you know, and then without a doubt, also understand that the person you need to be talking to more than anyone is right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the person you need to talk to in your marriage. Like that. And if there's an issue there, and we do it with our kids, like our kids come up and say, so-and-so hasn't blah, blah, blah. Have you talked to them? You know, like we don't talk to our family about our marriage anymore. You know, like we talk to each other.
That was an early change.
That was an early change where we're like, this isn't going to get better if we're talking to everybody else about it and not to each other.
Or friends.
Or
honestly.
friends. You know, like we don't want our friends to have, and that's in the book too. We don't want our friends to have clouded perspectives around who our partner is, because if we stay together, should we stay together? Now they're just going to hate our mate because we're not running to our mate all the time saying every single good thing he does. You know, so it was like really important for us that we were like, hey, you know, if there's beef, we're figuring it out. And we walk away from things if we're upset, but we do it respectfully. You know, we never throw around divorce casually, ever. Right. It's not something we joke about. It's not something that's playful. It's not funny, you know, so we don't do that. Right. And then the veto thing is a big deal. You know, like we let the other person be, meaning like you can be who you are all up and down. But if you put your foot down, like this person's taking it seriously, we should listen. And then above all else, we put each other first, because if our marriage is strong, like everything else will be fine. The business, the children, the money, it'll be fine. But we have to do the work. So, and make no mistake, things aren't perfect. Like we still have stuff we're working on, but we're content to take it step by step. Like I just think that the things that are not where we want them to be right now will get better. You know what I mean? It's all about, it is time, but they will get better. So it's, that's a marriage. It's a marriage. It's worth it though.
And that's why we have our 4 core needs quiz that we created, was to help people figure out that self-awareness piece of like, what are kind of like the things that you're coming into your relationship with and the needs that you have, so that you can not only know them yourself, but communicate them to your significant other. Because that's what we found, is that sometimes you would even know what they are, but then you just don't know how to talk about it.
And or you're scared to, and you didn't realize it was stuff, you know? That quiz is awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. You should take it.
Okay.
I know, even though we have like it's like a love languagey quiz, but it's also like a how I think about things quiz.
Yeah, and how to articulate it. Like in conflict, because you have that certain need, how to interact with having that need.
Where can he find it?
You can find it at our website at thebakers.tv, and it's like right there on the front. You can't miss it.
It's very beautiful.
Our Facebook page too. It's at the Bakers TV.
Cool.
So, yep. Now, how can people continue to follow you guys and your story and all that you're doing? Because I'm sure people after this they'll want to know.
It's probably my Instagram.
I know. If you really want to see about our couples stuff, if you want to know more about that, you can follow me or the Hubbin on Instagram. I'm at Naptural, Naptural, Nicole, and he's at the Hubbin, all around the internet. HUBBIN.
THE.
Yeah, at the Hubbin. First name the, last name Hubbin. Right. All over the internet. So follow the Hubbin. Everyone who's watching should follow the Hubbin, not me. He's way better than I am. Way more cool.
True it all, but
it's entirely true.
I have more cute pictures of our youngest daughter.
That's
than
true.
You do.
That's true. So. That's very true. It's accurate.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I know that we had a study audience here, and so I'm sure that everyone watching the replay is going to love this too. But thank you for being real with us and just speak into entrepreneur life and being in a relationship with it.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Thank you guys for having us. We don't do enough of these.
Yeah.
It's different for me to sit here and just let this guy go, and just kind of be like, really? And you know how Mary always wants to say all this stuff when you're on camera. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know you felt that way, but now's the time to tell in front of the whole internet. So let's just go ahead. We're going to have some great conversations after this, I'm sure.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure. I'm sure they're counting on it.
I love it. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good evening.
Bye.